Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's writing lesson. Let's get started.
As we've said before, you don't just write your best work straight away. You need to plan it first. So our learning objective today is all about planning. We're going to be looking at writing similar to what we're going to write to learn from it. Jack has asked us to find out if it's a good idea to build houses next to a river. We're going to write a letter back to him to tell him what we found out. We need to learn how to set out a letter in order to do this. Let's have a look at the key vocabulary that we're going to be using this lesson. So we've got WAGOLL, which is what a good one looks like. So we're going to be magpieing ideas for that and then coming up with the steps to success for our own letter. We're going to be looking at fronted adverbials, which we've looked at before at school. Subordinating conjunctions, which extend our sentences. This is something a little bit new. We haven't looked at this before, so we're going to be learning about if-then sentences. Expanded noun phrases, which, as you know, is an adjective, noun. Exclamation sentences and question sentences. I found this letter in the archives. It's from October 2001. It's from a man called Robert Davis, who was a land surveyor, and it's writing to the mayor to talk about building a retail park near the River Severn. Let's see what it says. Dear Mayor, I am writing to respond to you about your proposal of building a retail park near the River Severn. First of all, I suggest that you don't build on the floodplain because it will flood too often. If you try to build on the banks of the unpredictable, vast River Severn, then your retail park will constantly be flooded. People won't be able to get into the shops, so this will be devastating for business. What a disaster! Secondly, I recommend that you don't build on the floodplain as the land is not stable. If you try to build on this boggy, squelchy surface, then the shops are sure to collapse. The shopkeepers wouldn't want to rent the buildings and you would lose money. How unfortunate. In conclusion, I suggest that you don't build a retail park next to the River Severn because of the above reasons. If you do need to build a retail park, then I would recommend that you relocate to the River Stour in Kidderminster. The flat ground next to the river isn't a floodplain, so it would be good to build on. What do you think of my proposal? I look forward to your response. Yours sincerely, Robert Davis, Land Surveyor. Have a look at this letter then. What do you notice about how it's set out? What do you think the key features are for a letter? Pause the video now and see what you come up with. Then check back and we'll look at it together. How did you get on? Did you spot all of them? Let's check them through together. So the letter starts with an address in the top right-hand corner with the date that you wrote the letter underneath. You then start your letter with dear whoever you're writing your letter to. So in this case, it's the mayor. Then you have an introductory sentence. Why are you writing the letter? Your letter should then be sectioned off into paragraphs. You then have a sign-off for your letter. So that includes things like yours sincerely, yours faithfully, or kind regards. Then you put your name and maybe your job title at the end of the letter. So now we're going to break down the letter a little bit more. Within the letter, can you spot any examples of these language features that we've already looked at before in Year 4? Just like before, when we've been doing WAGOLLs in school, can you create a key with each of these features? So a fronted adverbial, apostrophe of contraction, subordinating conjunction, if-then sentence, expanded noun phrase, coordinating conjunction, exclamation sentence, and a question sentence. So create your own key and use different colours for different language features. For example, you could underline all the fronted adverbials in red, or the apostrophes of contraction in blue, and so on. We've attached this letter to your parent mail for this week. If you have a printer at home, you can print off the letter and have a go at the activity. If you don't have a printer, don't worry, you can just have a go using the screen. Pause the video now and have a go. Then check back and we'll go through them together. How did you get on? Let's go through it together now. So let's start with the fronted adverbial. I'm going to underline these in red. We all know that fronted adverbials come at the start of a sentence, and we know that they are always followed by a comma. So let's have a look for them. We've got first of all, we've got secondly, and in conclusion. I know they're fronted adverbials because they come at the start of the sentence. They're followed by a comma. And can anybody tell me what kind of fronted adverbials they are? That's right, they're fronted adverbials of time. They're telling us when. Okay, I'm going to find apostrophes of contraction in this light blue colour. We've briefly looked at apostrophes of contraction in school before. If you can remember, it's where you use an apostrophe to show missing letters or a letter. So we've got don't, we've got another don't there, we've got won't, we've got another don't here, and an isn't. So here, don't, we've got an apostrophe of contraction because it's the word do not put together, and you've got the apostrophe to show the missing O. In the word won't, it's short for will not. And again, we've contracted it so the apostrophe is showing where the missing letters are. There are a few more apostrophes of contraction within this letter. Stay tuned later in the week when we're going to be doing a lesson on apostrophes of contraction to explain them in a little bit more detail. So now we're going to find subordinating conjunctions, and I'm going to highlight these in orange. If you remember, subordinating conjunctions are used to extend a sentence. We've been using them at school. So we've got when, if, and because. Those are the most simple subordinating conjunctions you can use. And you can see in the letter, we've got because here to extend our sentence. We've got the subordinating conjunction as here to extend our sentence. And we use another because here in the final paragraph. So next I'm going to be looking for the if-then sentences, and I'm highlighting these in black. Don't worry too much if you didn't spot these, because we haven't actually looked at these yet in school, but stay tuned later this week and we'll be going through what if-then sentences are in a little bit more detail. So in the first paragraph, my if-then sentence is, if you try to build on the banks of the unpredictable, vast River Severn, then your retail park will constantly be flooded. Did you spot the others in the other two paragraphs? So next is expanded noun phrases, and I've highlighted these in purple. You should be experts at these by now because we've looked at them so many times in school. So if you remember, an expanded noun phrase is an adjective, adjective, noun. So in this first paragraph, my adjectives are unpredictable and vast, and my noun is the River Severn. Did you spot the expanded noun phrase in the second paragraph? That's right, it's foggy, squelchy, surface. Well done. So now we're going to look at coordinating conjunctions, which I have highlighted in blue. Again, we've looked at these before in school, where they're used to extend a sentence. The most simple ones that we've been looking at are and, but, and so. Let's have a look at the WAGOLL and see what we can find. So in our first paragraph, we've got the conjunction so to extend our sentence. Did you spot them in paragraph 2 and 3? In paragraph 2, we've got and used to extend our sentence, and we've got a so here. Well done if you found those. So the next one we're looking for is exclamation sentences, and I've highlighted these in green. I use my skimming and scanning guided reading skill for this because I am skimming and scanning for an exclamation mark. So I've got what a disaster, how unfortunate, yes, and I know that they're exclamation sentences because they end in an exclamation mark. Finally, we're looking at question sentences, and I'm going to do that in a pink colour. Again, I can use my skimming and scanning skills to look for a question mark. I can see that there is only one question mark in the letter, and it's in this final paragraph. What do you think of my proposal? With a question mark at the end. Can you remember the noisy punctuation for a question mark? Do it now. That's right, it's huh? How did you get on? Did you spot them all? So from using the WAGOLL, we've been able to come up with our steps to success for letter writing that we're going to use when we write our letter to Jack. We need to make sure we're including fronted adverbials, apostrophes of contraction, subordinating conjunctions, if-then sentences, expanded noun phrases, coordinating conjunctions, exclamation sentences, and question sentences. Over the next few lessons, we will be exploring these features a little bit more to help you.
So that's the end of our writing lesson for Tuesday. I hope you found that useful. I can't wait to get started on our letter writing soon. Bye!